Grand risings on this quite blustery and grey Samhain morning in Avalon. To be precise, I'm back in the Wells Cemetery. So Samhain, I guess, is all about honouring the dead, the ancestors, those who have passed. And this past year, I've had my fair share of grief and death. I lost my father back in March. It was just before the spring equinox. And then more recently, I lost my beloved Magic too. So today, for me, it's very much about lighting a candle to their memory and all the things that I learnt from them and what their beautiful lives gave me and how they enriched my life. So as I'm walking through this cemetery, one thing we can be sure of, and I've said it before, none of us get out here alive. And the thing is I guess death and life are all two parts of the same wheel, really. So to be truly awakened, I guess, is to fully accept that life and death cannot exist without each other. And that just as being born is a doorway into the world, we are from the earth. We don't come into the world, we are of the world. We lived in spirit before we were even born. So I guess, the two are interwoven and we live in this mortal coil. Everything is transient. And I'm reflecting a little bit today that I once got a message when I walked through a graveyard in Halesworth in Suffolk, where I used to live. It's a beautiful little Suffolk town with a big heart, but it's a small place. And as I was walking through the cemetery there, I got the message, it's not the dead you have to fear and watch out for, it's the living. And it does seem to me that more and more that this bully culture seems to be prevalent. And I don't want to go into victimhood and say, yes, I've been bullied so much. But I think increasingly people are being bullied. And I do feel that certain victims like Lucy Letby, like Virginia Giuffre, that, in the end, the truth will always win. And it doesn't matter how grim it looks. These narcissistic, patriarchic structures are definitely crumbling from what I can see. And I did see that ex-Prince Andrew was stripped of his titles and actually, his palace was taken away. The house that he lived in, I mean. So, but how many years did that take? Himself and Fergie living in extreme luxury when the rest of the royals knew about this for a very long time. So it just shows you just how corrupt these institutions and these structures actually are, and how deep the corruption goes. We've just seen a squirrel, so I had to kind of rapidly change direction there. Quite interesting, isn't it? And the word predatory comes to mind. Just like the dog Aurora, her predators are squirrels. And what's going on in the world, is there are many predators, particularly on the vulnerable and the so-called weaker people, such as, I do believe that these doctors who weaved a web of lies and deceit with Lucy Letby, You know, they were all male. They were all male doctors. You know, I'm not saying they did it because they were male. And there were also women who as well who joined the whole thing. But it does seem very much to me that there is a lot of this going on, that women are preyed upon, and especially children. And you know, as someone, I spent 23 years in the education system, 10 years of that in early years. And, you know, I really can't bear how the education system now seems to be grooming and actually sexualizing children. So, anyhow, what are you doing for Samhain or Halloween this year? Have you put up any decorations? I made some little ghosts that look quite cute, and I put them on my market stall, but nobody bought them last week. So I've just put them out on my wall out the front with these little flickering LED candles in them. But yeah, I think this is a fitting place to be on Samhain. We have the zombie walk here in Glastonbury. I might try and get a few pictures of that later. But yeah, I think it's also really important that we go within at this time, you know, into the void. I wrote a poem this morning, which I might share on here as well. And it's all about, you know, embracing the shadow side, because we have to be integrated, don't we, to, you know, if we are attacked by toxicity and all of this kind of thing that seems to be on the increase, then we also need to be aware of our shadow and integrate it into our being. What are your thoughts about that? Well, you take care and happy Halloween. So like, share and subscribe. Getting a bit American now. But Samhain blessings from Avalon, from my heart to yours. And you take care now. Lots of love. Bye.
I call on the goddess of the sea, invoke the muse, so that we may compose an incantation from the land of the sea. She is the blazing fire on the hill. She the spring, the flame at the well, queen of the bees.